Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. Today we are going to do something really fun and a little bit different for me. I am going to put together a household planner. And I'm going to use a combination of inserts that I've printed out, some accessory packs from Home Depot. Household is on my mind. An accessory pack from Happyplanner and a Happyplanner planner, a couple of Happyplanner planners that I actually bought on clearance at the end of the year. So we're gonna dive right in because I don't have a lot of time to film this video, but I want to get it done so that I can get this up this week. So let's get started. Okay, let's talk about why I'm setting up a home planner and where I'm getting my inspiration. I'm getting my inspiration from the Happyplanner's spring release parenting layout, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in just a minute. But first, let's talk about the why. So really there are two reasons. When quarter 2 started for me, I had a couple of emergencies in my house, like appliance emergencies, some pretty major, I'm going to actually do things while I talk because like I said, I don't have a lot of time, but some pretty major appliance replacements and household projects that need to be done. And as I was working through those, like getting quotes and estimates, I realized that I didn't have a good place to really keep track of that. And so I was like, okay, I really need a household planner. And there were some other DIY projects that I wanted to keep track of, and I knew that I needed it. Well, when Happyplanner did their spring release preview, I loved the parenting layout. I thought that would work perfectly. I'm not a parent, but I like how it was set up with chores and things like that. So I put it in my wish list. The longer it sat in my wish list, I said to myself, wait a minute. I would have to do some customization to that planner. So why don't I just go ahead and customize my own? So here we are. Okay, so that's the why. So let me talk about the tools I'm going to use. I have created some inserts to mimic the parenting layout, but customized for people who are not parents, because I'm not a parent. And so this is definitely leaning more toward household stuff. I'm going to use these inserts. These are the monthlies. I'm going to use these inserts combined with a Happyplanner dashboard layout to really help me achieve what I want. So I will do a quick flip through of these. I also created, this is a dashboard I'm going to use. I just thought it was super pretty and nice and springy. But I also created additional inserts that are very specific to a household planner that are not present in that parenting layout. So I'll do a quick flip through of these as well. And then after I do the flip throughs, I'm just going to get into cutting these and getting them punched so that we could get this planner set up. I also have an accessory pack that I bought on clearance at Hobby Lobby for $2.99. Yeah, if you can see that. I don't know how much of this I'll be able to use, but I will use some of it. I will also use some top dividers. I just got these at Amazon. I have an extra top divider that I might use, and then I printed out a couple of labels, just this top row, for my sections that I'm going to include in my home planner or my household planner. So those are the tools that I'm going to use today. Let's do a super quick flip through. I'll talk more about these when I actually put the planner together, but I just want to take a moment and show you what I have. So in the inserts that are mimicking that parenting layout, really that's only my monthly inserts. What I've decided to do is create like that goal, recreate that goals page that was on the opposite side of their monthly dashboard. And I just used a layout I've used in some of my other planners and did just a very small amount of customization because I pretty much already had a nice goals layout, and so I decided to keep that. So this is my focus and goals page that was inspired by that parenting layout. And then the next thing, oh, this is upside down. Let's fix this. So this was a sample page I printed. So behind the focus and goals page is a focus and priorities page. This is the weekly dashboard. So this mimics that weekly dashboard layout that you saw in the parenting planner. Now theirs had all their boxes on one side, and then they had a detailed meal plan. I adjusted this for me based on my needs. I don't have anybody I assign chores to. I'm the only one who does chores because I don't have any kids. So I am going with household tasks. I have a complete budget planner. I don't need a lot of room for budgeting, but I do like to keep track of any bills or large expenses that are coming up. So I have a finance section. I do buy things almost every day for various reasons, but I do like to keep track if I'm having large purchases or there's something I'm planning to buy. I don't do daily meal planning, but I do like to have meal ideas because I'm more of a give me a selection of ideas and I'll choose from those ideas during the week. So that's how I'm setting this up. I have an open notes section and I love their priority section. So I did keep the focus and priorities. Now, the big difference for me for my inserts versus what I saw in the parenting inserts is that on the weekly side, I'm actually not setting this up per week, because I have several planners already where I track my weekly activities. I have a catch-all, I have work planners, I have budgeting planners. I don't need another weekly planner. I just don't. But what I do need is to still keep track of activities in my household. Things like repairs that are happening, when I'm scheduling those repairs, when I'm doing home maintenance, those types of things is what I need to keep track of. So this weekly is actually a monthly. Now, for me, what that means is I have a space for 5 weeks. So each of these boxes are going to correspond to a week. So week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, if I need it. And then I have a space to list any key tasks that I may want to focus on during that month. And I have a dot grid where I can put any notes here. And then at the top, I'm using the must do, should do, want to help keep track of prioritization for the month. And that is how I am using, or how I have been inspired by the parenting layout. And then I have a notes page on the back of that. So this will go into every month. This is my monthly setup. That is it. And like I said, to give credit where credit is due, it is inspired by the Happy Planner monthly layout. Okay, Happy Planner parenting layout. Okay, so I am also creating a dashboard, or I created a dashboard just as a visual. I loved this dashboard. I think it is so pretty, and I'm excited to use it in my planner. I'm just going to use that in the front. And then I just have a couple of blank checklists that I'll put in the front of my planner, because I like to just keep track, just a running list of things I need to do. So this set of inserts, these are the things that were really inspired by the parenting layout. The other inserts are inserts that I created or I curated and adjusted to represent what I think I need in a household planner. So I have this set up by section. I think it's home, health, wealth, and explore. They're not in that order, but that's the section. So explore is all about having fun, right? I travel a lot. I have a lot of specialty sheets I put in my planners. All that's going to go in here. Bucket list stuff, wish list. Explore is having fun. So it's those leisure activities that I like to do. I could have called this leisure. I spent 2 days trying to think of the right word to call that. But anyway, so in this section, I just have some simple layouts to help me plan for trips. This is not a detailed travel budget, because I keep that in my budget planner. But I do like to kind of prep and plan for day trips, road trips, weekend trips. This is like my weekend warrior stuff. And I just have a couple different options for that. These all do the same thing, just a couple different layouts and options, because I like variety. So that's that. And then I have a home section. This is the biggest section. In my home section, I just have some brainstorming, You know, what do you want your home to look like? That type of stuff. The nuts and bolts, what I really, really need is this project calendar where I can keep track of upcoming home projects. I can keep track of my maintenance schedule. I can come in and write all the actions I'm going to do for that quarter and place them in the appropriate month. Upcoming expenses. And then I can get into decluttering. I actually pulled this from one of my Planner Joys because I loved the decluttering layouts that I had in that Planner Joy pack. But I just took all the color out and made it black and white to match with the color scheme I'm going with for my home planner. I wanted it to be very neutral. So this is just all about decluttering, some worksheets to help you declutter periodically, cleaning checklist. I won't come in here and do this weekly, but I do like to see the checklist. I know you can't really see it. This video isn't necessarily about reading the entries here. It's more about putting the planner together. 5-minute tasks. I have my 5-minute challenge. Loved that. Like I said, I created that declutter pack as one of my April Joy rollouts. I think it may have been March. And I loved it. And so I'm happy to put this in my household planner. That's actually one of the reasons I wanted a household planner, because I was creating inserts for certain planners, like my Planner Joy, which is my well-being planner. And when the month was over, I was just storing them, but the inserts were so useful, I wanted a place to keep them so that I could continue using them. And so all of that is what was making me think, oh, you need a household planner. You need some type of leisure life planner. And that's kind of where this is coming from. So then I get into my projects. I do a lot of projects around the house, in my craft room, all that type of stuff. So these are DIY project planning sheets, room assessments if I'm trying to think about a project I want to do, financial planning for the project. And then I have just some documentation pages for your household, insurance details, things like that. So that's the home section. The next section is finance or wealth. And so that's just the section dashboard. I have my account trackers. This is where I keep track of any household accounts. Bill tracker. I don't have a complete budget in here because I use a budget planner, but I do like to come in here and my major bills, mortgage, card, all those things, that it's really important that you don't skip any months, that you're not a day late because of the way interest adds up. I like to track that those have been paid on time every month. Credit card information, a place to keep your credit cards. Let me say this. This is not a planner for other people to see. Like, I will not be showing this planner once I set it up and start using it. I will not be showing these pages on YouTube. That's not the intent of this. This is a household planner, which for me, I really needed a place to keep all of this information in one spot. Yes, I have it in a digital location. Of course, everybody does. But I also wanted to keep it stored away somewhere. So this is not going to be out and open and things like that. This is not going to be that type of planner. It is very, very, very much a planner where you are keeping some sensitive household information. But we all need a place to keep that, guys. So maybe just not in your daily planner, because this is not going to be a daily planner. So credit card info, retirement account info, health insurance info, car insurance, life insurance. So you see the type of section this is, other insurance information, a list of my personal assets, and then any collectibles or jewelry that I have in the house. This is very much a household living planner. And so this is why I also knew I needed to customize and not just go with that parenting layout. So the next section is health, similar type information. I do have a fitness goals in here. This is not my fitness planner. I have a well-being planner that you see me decorate sometimes, but I think it's nice just to have a general fitness goal for the year, and that's all that represents. But then I get into the section that I will use from this planner, and that is keeping track of my routine doctor visits. That was something else that made me think, okay, I really need a household planner. Because yes, I put my doctor visits in my normal planner, but I have a chronic illness. So I have a lot of doctor visits. I have a lot of doctors, and I need to just make sure that I've hit those routine visits and when they're coming up and what happened during that visit. I just need a place to keep that information. And as the new year started, and we're all making doctor's visits, and you have insurance changes, you know, those are things that you're doing, and you need to keep track of that. So, or I do. Medical appointment planner, doctor notes. So very personal information, personal medical history, treatment plans. This actually printed incorrectly, so I'm gonna have to fix that one. But treatment notes, this is supposed to be back double-sided, but I'll reprint it. Prescription medication lists, pharmacy information, health insurance information, emergency contact lists, health providers, personal health history, and then family health history. Medication tracker, family medical, and medication spending record. So these are the inserts. Now, I'll be upfront with you. I don't know if all of these sections I just went through belong in the same planner. I don't know that yet. I'm going to give it a try, see how it works. If not, I may end up separating it into two, but I think that I can make this work in one planner. I hope so. Yes, it's a lot of personal information in these planners, but it's a household life planner. It should be personal. Like I said, this will not be a planner. I don't need this page. It's an extra page. This will not be a planner that I show every page. I probably will not even show any of it, if I'm honest with you. But I'm going to show setting it up, because I am a planner. Before I'm a decorative planner, before I do these YouTube videos, I am a planner. I've always been a planner. I've had planners since I was in 6th grade, 10 years old. So I plan my life, and I prefer paper planners. That's not going to change just because I do YouTube videos, but I thought it would be a good idea to show you what I'm doing with my household planner. So this is one of those planners that you probably won't see. You don't need to see. And I probably won't do too much decorating with it. But if you're interested in doing something similar, that's why I wanted to show this to you. Before I get started cutting, because I'm going to put you on pause to cut and punch these. Before I get started cutting, I just want to say to you that these inserts I created that are inspired by the parenting layout from Happy Planner, so it's just going to be the monthlies. I am going to make these available to you for free. All you have to do is click the link down below, and I'll have this PDF, and you can download it for free if you'd like to do the same. I am going to use these monthlies in combination with a dashboard that I bought on clearance at the end of the year last year. So if you have a clearance planner that you would like to use with these inserts, it's a great way to use some of your supplies that you may have bought. So let me put you on pause. I'm going to get these cut and punched, and then we'll come back and put this planner together. Hey guys, okay, that was a ton of punching, but I have punched, I have cut, and now we are back. Let's go ahead and assemble this planner. So I am using my cut and punched inserts, this huge stack. Of course, I have some errors in here. That's okay. I'll have to fix those later. The main planner that I'm going to use as my base is this dashboard, January through December 2025. I got this planner at Office Depot on clearance, no, Staples on clearance toward the end of the year. And I really love it. It is the frosted covers. And then it's just the regular dashboard layout. I love the dividers. I love everything in here. And so I am going to use everything except the weekly pages. I'm also going to change out the cover. I love the cover, but it's just a little bit dark for spring. So that's why I have this planner out I am going to use this lighter cover for this particular planner because it is more springy to me. And I got this planner on clearance as well. It was an undated, I don't know where I got it, but it was on clearance because I don't buy regular price planners. So I also don't use my undated unless I'm going to use the whole planner. So I'm only using the cover from this. Everything on the inside is going to stay intact. I still have the actual band on it. So why don't we go ahead and get started? I'm going to go ahead and take off the labels. I'm going to sit my inserts off to the side right now, and I'm going to go in and take out the guts of the planner. Now, everything in the front is going to stay the same. I'm keeping my perpetual calendar, but I am taking out these extra months that they include, and I'm going to probably use that as scrap paper. And then in each month, I am going to take out the weeklies. I'm leaving the monthly calendar because I will use the monthly calendar, but I'm not using the weeklies. And of course, January through March is already gone anyway, but I'm still going to leave them in here. And April is going to be the first month that I actually set up. Even though we are in April, I'm still going to set it up. So for May, now these are going to be my scrap papers. The rest of these I will keep separate because who knows, I may use these dashboard pages for special layouts or something like that. So these are not going to be scrap. These are going to go in my insert pile that sometimes I use just as extra inserts in other planners. Because you never know when you may need a dashboard layout for something. So that's why I turned those over so that I can keep those separate. Okay, almost through. We're in November, and then we're going to move December. Perfect. So the only thing that is left in this planner is the cover and then the monthlies. Okay, these are scrap pages, and these are pages for the rest of the year that I may use later. So I'm going to write on here scrap so that I know that and I can keep them separate. All right, so this is what is left. We have the cover, we have the stickers that came with the planner, the annual section, and then in each month we have the monthly calendar and the dashboard that's on the back of the month. That is it. So coming into this planner, we're going to now put in my inserts. So I do have some annual inserts. I am just going to stick those behind this section. I'll probably cover this up with something else, like just a blank page at a later date. But these are my annual pages that I wanted to put in here, just checklists. I also am putting my dashboard in the front. So I can take this dashboard out. I'll probably stick it in the back though because I do like it. Now I am going to take the inserts I made that are inspired by the parenting layout and put in each month. So I'm going to start in April because there's no need to put it in January through March. Those are gone. The way this is going to work is for each month you have your monthly divider. This is already included in the Happy Planner planner. And then I am going to use the dated monthly. So this came with this planner. I'm using a dashboard that I hauled on a clearance. And then in the dashboard layout, you have this very nice dashboard that you have each week. So I'm using the first week's dashboard as my monthly dashboard, and it's perfect because it has the month labeled at the top. So then on the other side of that, I'm putting my weeklies, but I'm using it as a monthly. And so now I have a dashboard and a goals section in my monthly. Just like the parenting layout. It looks different, but it's accomplishing the same thing because the parenting layout has a dashboard and it has a goals section. So the big difference is instead of having weekly pages, I have a monthly overview page. Basically, each of these boxes represents 1 week out of the month. I have a task section, must do. I went over this at the beginning of the video and how this relates to the parenting layout, and that's all I put in each month. So I'm going to come in and do the same for May. And June, so through the rest of the year basically. And I think I'll have one left over as an extra, because I feel like I printed 10 of these and I only really needed 9. Okay, so while I'm putting these in, let me say a couple of things about why I'm so excited about this planner. I talked a little bit about this in the beginning of the video, but another reason is what I'm currently using as a catch-all is not truly a catch-all. It's turned more into a work planner, which I love, and that's what I need. And so I really only call it a catch-all in videos because, you know, that's what people recognize when they see the video, because that's the most common planner you probably see on videos. But truthfully, it's not really a catch-all, not in my opinion. I only really use it for work, which is perfect for me. The problem with that, let me go ahead and put this extra page in here. The problem with that is I'm finding myself having a few pages, this is that extra, having a few pages that don't quite fit in my work planner. And so that is why I decided to, one of the reasons I decided to have a household planner. So the other sections, let me pause for a minute. The other sections, like my Explorer, Home, Health, Wealth, they, for the most part, are going to go, I think I'm going to put them in the back of my planner for now, behind that extra page. And this is where I'm going to use those plastic inserts. So you see, I have a couple of punch errors in Home, so I'm just going to sit this right here. I was punching really quickly, y'all, trying to get this video wrapped up before I get on the road for my vacation. So I have a couple of errors throughout, and wherever I have an error, I just will reprint those and then recut and repunch them. So not a big deal when you print your own inserts. All right. So now finance is the next section. Keep in mind, this isn't budget necessarily. I have the entire budget planner, but this is like your household financials that you really want to document and, you know, make sure that you have that information handy if you need it. So then I'm getting into my health section. Honestly, I'm probably going to relabel that finance dashboard to say wealth. That's what it should have said in the beginning. I don't know. As I was putting these together, I struggled a little bit with language. Did I call it wealth? Did I call it finance? Did I call the Explorer section travel, fun, whatever. It was just, I was back and forth with it. And so, you know, adjustments will need to be made. Okay, so this is now in the next step. I wish I could put these in. Let's see if any of these are punched well. No. So I'm just going to sit this right here for now. The next step is to go ahead and put in the dividers, right? So I have dividers and I have a cover change. So let's do the cover change first. We're going to take this cover off and we're going to replace it with these covers. And I'm just going to stick this cover onto this planner. So that this planner still has a cover, a nice cover actually, because I really like this black cover. Like I said, it just didn't fit the spring theme, I guess. I think this black cover was a part of the Ink and Arbor line. And I really liked it. So it still looks like a beautiful planner. Okay, this is the new planner. We are gonna pop on the new cover. And I put in this dashboard here so that I can see it every time I open. I think that's so pretty. I don't know if I'm loving the way it shines through the frosted, because the frosted has those dots on it, but I'm gonna leave it for now. I think it looks really nice. I do think I like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab these plastic dividers. And I have divider labels here. So move that to the side. I need a total of 4 dividers. And so let's see if I can remember what order I put these in. I think I did Explore first. So let me grab the labels I made on my Cricut. Well, I made them on Canva, cut in Cricut. And I'm just gonna put Explore. And then I think I do Home next. Not that this really matters. You can put them in any order, guys. And then I believe I have Finance, which is Wealth. Yeah, I'm definitely going to relabel that Finance dashboard into Wealth, because I mean, it should match the label. Okay, come out. Okay, and then we have Health. There we go. So I just printed a row of extras here just in case I messed anything up. I printed a lot of Gem and Explore so that I can use those in my planners. Intentional is my word of the year, and this is my name. The reason I printed all this extra stuff is I didn't want to waste just a whole sheet of sticker paper just for like 4 labels. So I always try to, you know, maximize my supplies where I can. All right, so I just put this in here. I'll need to reprint my Home. And then Wealth goes in here. And then Health will go in here. I'm loving this already. Like, totally in love with this, truthfully. Okay, so then the next thing I want to do is take a quick look at these inserts. These are actually the home inserts or household inserts, Home Sweet Home from Happyplanner. It's old, guys. I got this at clearance. I'm just gonna see if there's anything I can use. I know the colors don't really match. I'm not gonna use the chores. I don't really meal plan, but I do meal plan, but I don't need this to meal plan. I meal plan somewhere else. I do like this substitution list here, but I don't need that tab. So that's a no. I don't do an actual budget in here. And I definitely don't need one budget page. I have a whole budget planner. I do like this projects tab. And I have a few stickers in here, and I have a folder. So I think I am going to use the projects tab, the folder. So projects will go in home. And I do have a section right after my declutter section. I have a section where all the inserts are related to projects. So like DIY project, renovation projects, project financial planning. So I think that fits really nicely there, even though it doesn't quite match the color scheme. And then in the back is where I will put the folder. I don't know if these stickers will fit in the folder. No, so I'll just stick these in. I'll use these stickers for something else. So I'll stick those to the side. Okay, guys. This is the household planner. I love it so far. This is my dashboard. This came with the original planner. I left this in here. I have my checklist. These are just random pages I put in the front. I will probably end up removing January, February, and March, but for now they're in here. This is April. I have the monthly. This is the part that I was inspired by the parenting layout. I have a focus and goals section over to the side. I took a layout I use in another one of my planners that I created, and I brought it over because it works. Inspired by the Happy Planner parenting layout. Absolutely love this. Focus and priorities dashboard at the beginning of the month. And then I have weeklies, which is actually per month. So in my month, this is all I have. Love that. And that's the way it is for every month. The household portion that really turns into a household planner is when you see these tabs. And in the back, I have my explore section. This is my fun and leisure section. It's going to have all type of things in here. Bucket lists, specialty pages, travel planners, things like that. My home section, we've gone over the inserts. But this is where I'm going to keep track of all the things I need to do household wise, including some DIY projects that I like to work on. I always have some type of project going on. Wealth is all about personal finance. It's really keeping that information in one place that you may need to reference. This is not my budget. I use a budget planner for that. Same with health. I have a well-being planner for like self-care and well-being and fitness journaling, but this is where I keep all that, I want to start keeping all that information that you may need to reference, and you still need to keep track of it, right? But you don't necessarily want this in a fitness planner. And then I used the folder from a Happy Planner clearance accessory pack. Love this so much. Anything I use will be linked down below. Those monthlies that are inspired by the parenting planner will be available for free. Just follow the link down below and you can download it. Currently, the household inserts in the back, I don't have those listed anywhere. I will probably keep working on them and eventually get them listed on Etsy. If they're on Etsy by the time this video goes up, I'll put a little blurb at the bottom of this, and then you can get them there if you'd like. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good day.